Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Advait Sawant. I'm solution architect with Outsystems. Thank you so much again, Ron, for inviting me here to speak about my favorite topic, why low code, and how Outsystems high performance low code truly adds value to the digital transformation, which can be costly, painful, and jaded with so much of uncertainty. You all can see my screen, right? Okay, great. So let's start from the point where OutSystems actually makes the difference. So first and foremost, the value that OutSystems brings to the customer is peace of mind, relief that your investment in terms of money, efforts, and time is not getting wasted. If you don't like our faces tomorrow, though we don't want you to, actually, your data, your running application, and the corresponding code is yours to keep. The process is seamless, and there is exhaustive documentation available about that. Next is while designing your application, apart from basic tenets such as your data sources, your foundation modules, your core modules, and end user modules, you do not have to think much about the design. And that's like just start the application and start building it right away. We'll just see that in the while. Your apps, your IP. What I mean by that is the applications which you are developing. Let it be the web portal, let it be the chatbots, let it be the mobile applications. Everything is yours to keep. OutSystems does not have any IP on that. The other part or other niche why OutSystems is identified is the UI UX, the pixel perfect UI and UX. You can build engaging and intuitive user interfaces for multiple channels and multiple form factors. To talk about the extensibility about the OutSystems, you won't be hitting wall with OutSystems. Extend the platform by building your own connectors, and you can import the external libraries. This is where knowledge and experience of professional developers can be harnessed. So OutSystems' low code is for high code developers who have experience of development, who can create libraries, who can think modular, who can think about microservices. It's also for low code developers. So for example, if your team is mainly interns or the freshers, but you still want to develop enterprise level applications, then you can take advantage of OutSystems drag and drop feature, more of some style sheet advantages. If you do not have any developers, as Ron just mentioned about the citizen developers, then you can use the accelerators, the AI-enabled developments. I'll show that in the while. So OutSystems low-code platform is for everybody. And that's why it is rightly said as it's a development or the developer's choice. To talk about the OutSystems platform, you get to use a full stack development IDE. You can develop your pixel perfect UIs. You can develop your logic completely into that, like client action, service action, the integrations. You can also have your process orchestration done into that. You can develop your data models from ground up, or if you want to integrate from the external sources, you can do that over here. To talk about the integration and extension, now the development of any application is not just standalone. The app is as good as the integration capabilities of application. When you look around, you see that there are many applications which are costing arm and leg when it comes to the cost, or if you want to go for integration outside their ecosystem. With OutSystems, practically anything and everything wherein you can consume and expose REST APIs or SOAP APIs, you can connect with it. For cloud services, from deployment point of view, OutSystems can be deployed on OutSystems Cloud, which is of course on AWS, but you also have a choice of hybrid clouds, such as if you want to deploy on Azure, if you want to deploy on Google Cloud, you can still go for it. Sometimes what happens is, historically it has happened that organizations start from one cloud and maybe some or the other reason, or maybe organizational push, they have to switch the cloud. Even in that scenario, you don't have, the code has a portability to move on other clouds. There won't be any problem with that. You can integrate with many other enterprise systems, such as SAP and Salesforce are the common use cases. From databases point of view, many common databases, including MongoDB, Oracle, and many new or upcoming databases like Snowflake, or there are some cloud databases you can integrate. OutSystems has other integration builder tool which is absolutely free with the platform that you can go and enjoy. The other strength of OutSystems is its Forge, which is open source repository. You can always go to outsystems.com/forge, and you can see that globally 30,000 plus OutSystems developer are cranking up the application and putting it in the Forge. Last I checked, it had 5,103 applications, which are open source components, and which you can simply drag and drop and use in your application absolutely free of cost. And that's where the accelerators comes into picture. This is all about development. What about the testing? What about the version control? What about the deployment to production? So with OutSystems, you get full lifecycle product. You can develop your applications in dev. You can move it in QA. You can move it in production. And you can also add additional, in OutSystems term, we call it a pipeline into your systems or into your entire application portfolio. And the whole thing you can manage through lifetime, which is one-time transfer, data transfer portal. The main problem of the deployment is managing the dependencies or organizing for the dependencies. So those are the scenarios where OutSystems platform takes care for you. So whenever you want to go for deployment, it organizes and it manages the dependencies, it arranges the dependencies, and it provides you the report of dependencies before you actually go for the deployment. This is about development, deployment, excellent. But what else can you build with the OutSystems? So with OutSystems, you can build web portals, web applications. You can build native iOS and Android applications. You can build something called as progressive web application, which is the best of both worlds. So you don't have to go for any app store to look for those applications, but you can access them through URLs, and it can take the advantage of your mobile sensors and camera, etc. All the features. You can develop APIs and web services using OutSystems. You can create chatbots. You can create chat voice and SMS email services using OutSystems. So this is what OutSystems platform as a whole. But the same part, so development with OutSystems, I always say is like building Lego blocks. So if you want to build some structure with Lego blocks, you will have those blocks arranged and build those modules. So what happens is, even if you are building a big system with OutSystems, say for example, Wopac, it's a global logistics giant. They built their entire CRM system into OutSystems. So if you want to change certain modules, you can just change those modules and your work would be done. You don't have to throw away the whole system, and you can build the applications as and when you need, and you'll make sure that the components which are there in the system are all what you want. It's not something which is like, oh, it comes with the package. We don't use it, but we still have to keep it. From security point of view, after the application buildup, what we can do is we can walk through the security.outsystems.com, and you can see all your compliance related questions answered over there. What is the OutSystems platform? What are the frequencies of pen testing? Everything is available publicly at https://security.outsystems.com. So moving on, let's build. Let's start with the building application. So what we are going to do over here is we'll build one small application real quick from scratch. So here we also have an option to build the application from the existing template, and it has a rich platform templates. If you want to have like banking, order management, if you want to have a directory mobile applications, so you can start your applications building from these application templates. But what we will do is we'll build from scratch. You can also create the templates which you generally have to create applications into, and you can work it ready. So for AWS, we had created one sample application, and it was pretty interesting.
Hey, Advait, we had a good question from Blake, who wondered, how does it work if, let's say, there's a performance issue? How do you go about trying to optimize the performance and avoid problems? Is it almost easier because there's less to worry about? Because the core OutSystems platform, they can't change. It's just adjusting the code. Can you give some examples, insights on how they would work that or fix that?
Yes. So what we can do is, if like you can hold up for like 5-10 minutes. Once we develop the application, my next stop is going to be the architecture dashboard or AI mentor. So I'll start from how we can identify the security issues, the maintenance issues, the architecture issues, and how we can start to address it. So
Okay.
I'll go to fantastic. Thanks, Ram. So when you're building the application, what you can do is you can either select the color of your choice, so that it would select the buttons and all other color artifacts of the application into that, and it gives it a nice aesthetic look. Or if you have your logo, so let's start with the Angelbeat logo today. Angelbeat inventory. Okay, and create app. So what we are doing over here is we are building reactive web application, and we have got the we have got into ID. So here, what we can see is we have different screens, blocks, emails, and external slide. So the first section is called as drag and drop section. The middle section is a canvas, and the right hand side you can see 4 pillars wherein you can create processes, interface, logic, and data. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to create a table, but the fast way to create the table is I can directly create it from Excel. So this is called a scaffolding. So in the Outsystems, we are building the application, or we are building the table, and at the same time, you might have seen some stars popping up through processes and logic. So I'm going to the process, and here you see a bootstrap process has been created. A bootstrap server action has been created by just when I was importing the Excel. We didn't do nothing to create that process. So what we see over here is we have this particular table inside. Now let's go, and in the main flow, we'll start creating screens. So I'm simply dragging and dropping the table. So when you drop one table, in the background, Outsystems generate the code for 2 screens. So what you will see in a short while is the list and also the edit screen. Generally, when you are dragging or dropping a particular table, what it is essentially doing is it is creating something like a list. So let's go and check. So it would look something like this. What I'm going to do now is I'll show you the main flow. You will see these 3 screens. And here in the roles, it would be only tagged to the user who is going to log in. But right now, for the demo purpose, I'll just make these 2 screens anonymous, so we can log in easily, real quick. We don't have to go through creating the users. Okay. Publish. But what we see over here is images is, I really don't like the look and feel of that image, because that's not how I want to see the image. So I can quickly go over here, so image, I'll drag and drop. Okay, here. So we've got the image, and what we can do is we will take this expression away. So right now we just have this, and we can at the same time style this particular image. Four columns. Okay. Yeah. But what is happening right now is it is asking that, okay, if you're saying it's a local image, then give me the value of image. But it's an external URL we also have. So my Outsystems AI enabled platform is recommending me the probable values. Let me move it up here. So here it says that, okay, you can select one of these options. So I'm choosing to select image. Okay. And that's how we see the image. And now let's check what is happening at the item detail. So over here, we see everything is appearing, but the image is appearing again like a text box. So just delete this. And here we already have image template. So I'm changing it to external URL. And here, again, I don't have to type anything right now. It's simply recommending me what value we should put. All right. So this is basic 2 screens importing the table in the system. We literally did it in 4 minutes. But Advait, this is really easy. This is something which, practically any low code tool can be, will be doing. So this is how the screen would be appearing. You can go to the screen. It would be image would be appearing over here. You can come back. It's over here. So let's add some additional feature. What we can do is we can quickly add description translate, because in the global scenario, we all need to do a deal with the multilingual capabilities. Right. So what I have done for this is I've got a documentation. So this is I've created an API. So let's see how we can consume an API in Outsystems and how we can use it.
Hey, Advait, we've got about 2 minutes left, so I want to make sure we get at least one question live, and then we can answer the rest via chat.
Okay. I think then I would rather want to show the AI mentor for the previous question.
Okay.
Yeah, and the security portal, because these are the pre-availability. So to answer the question which Blake asked some time back, so this is called as AI mentor portal. Okay, and here what you essentially see is all the modules which we have been using and developing in Outsystems. They are arranged because most of the times you get some warnings which we ignore, and then that they become a part of technical debt which grows. So you can see the heat map over here. So this heat map is based on the warnings and the essential issues which must be addressed. So in Outsystems, all the modules are classified in 3 categories, like foundation, core, and end users. If the module is related to directly the data source, it is a part of foundation. If it is directly part of a functionality, say for example, healthcare or travel or something, it becomes a part of core module. But if your module is dealing with, or mostly into client action, it would be end user. So for the report part, if you want to see, so here in the category, there are 4, you can see 4 categories. Okay, so for performance, let's select the performance point of view. So here it will identify what are the code patterns which are causing problem. It will also give you the percentage of that. You can go and browse through all those. And at the right hand side, what I like about this is it will not only show you impact of that code pattern, but it also will tell you how to fix it. And you can directly navigate to that particular application, and it will open it in the Service Studio. Okay, so this is the same thing you can apply for security. So from security point of view, if you want to fix something, you can see what is the technical debt of that. And this particular application, you can make it accessible to developer. You can make it accessible to team leader, to your architect, to anybody. All right. And so you don't have to wait. In one of the Angelbeat event, which we had in Cincinnati, I met one of the CISO who was in the attendees, and I asked them, what is the general practice of your application when the security comes into picture? So he was telling me that we develop the application, put through the testing, and then we have a security swipe. So I asked him that, what if you find some security issue in the application development? And then he was like, oh no, then the application goes back. So can you imagine the colossal waste of time of a particular idea to go to the market? So with tools like this, you don't have to keep track of technical debt. You can be solely focused on innovation and your functionality. Okay, you can also get the APIs from this Mentor Studio and link it to the application, or if you have any scanning application for the code, if you want. Apart from that,
this is all great stuff. We also answered some of the questions so people can see how secure the Outsystems platform is. The great thing is, I'm going to ask you, there are a lot of other questions that
Okay.
I have questions on. I'm going to have you just deal with it online, such as how to go from advanced code to low code. What do you do with static testing? But the key takeaway with Outsystems, and it's, there are other tools similar to this offered by AWS, but they really do it well. Once you develop an Outsystems that works across all the cloud platforms, and it helps ensure that your organization can be very state of the art as far as its programming and development, and it can also address some of the logical challenges.